From us to you. Please like, subscribe, and or follow This Is True Really News at your favorite podcast outlet, like the one you're listening to right freaking now.
That would be good.
Please.
Because if you're not listening right now,
then you're not hearing this.
You're obviously not going to like, subscribe and
or follow. Neither will your friends.
No, I mean,
family. So as long as you're listening, tell someone else to listen, for Pete's sake. We need the listeners.
Why not share the pain is what we're thinking.
This is True, Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
On July 18th at an LDS church in St. George, Utah.
LDS is Latter-day Saints.
It is.
Mormons.
They've been known to have some eccentric rituals.
Well, ones we would consider eccentric, for sure.
Most anyone, except a member of the LDS.
Right. Well, sure.
Yeah. This is not one of those, but it is eccentric. 40-year-old Jeremy David Miller. It's never good when they put all three names in the story. Stripped off his clothes in the parking lot, and we're talking all of them. And while nude, removed items from the trunk of his car. And according to ABC TV4, he scattered them around the church lawn. Next, he went inside and slammed a child's car seat onto a table, knocking the sacrament tray and water to the ground. He then sped off in his Jeep. I hope it wasn't a sunny day, because that would be very hot on the,
Oh.
Yeah. Officers found him at his home, where he came outside shouting and cursing at them. Miller continued to resist officers until handcuffs were forcibly applied. He now faces assaulting a police officer, lewdness, and multiple other charges. So what do you suppose was involved? Because they didn't tell me.
Oh, my. I was hoping for a payout there.
I'm thinking more than alcohol.
Oh, we were having one of them days.
Yep. Maybe this is the guy who puts up the picture on Nessie.
He might be that guy. Or middle-aged woman from Lee, Greater Manchester.
No, I don't think he was a middle-aged woman.
Well, maybe he
you're doing a new story.
Yeah, it started, 40 years, and you still don't know how this darn thing works.
I probably never will.
Middle-aged woman from Lee, Greater Manchester, was wakened in the wee hours by a loud
lesser
noise.
Manchester?
Well, most people not living in the Greater Manchester area think so.
Copy that.
She looks out her window, observes two men trying to steal the neighbor's motorcycle. What do you do? What do you do? Well, you open the window and tell the little thieves to scram, or you'll call the police.
Fair enough.
Two men replied by kicking in her front door and demanding money and brandishing a machete.
Not the response you were hoping for?
At one point, the victim, Wendy Reynolds, noticed the machete had been put on the bed, so she tried to surreptitiously cover it with a duvet when the older intruder said they couldn't leave without it. That's when Wendy pounced, tackling the thief by his wedding tackle, and holding onto his leg.
You can have the leg. The rest needs to be let go of.
He yowled for help from his partner, who struck Mrs. Reynolds till she let go. Police tracked the pair and easily bundled them up. The 25-year-old got 8 years. The 17-year-old got 4.
And one of them was very, very
sorry.
Sore.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to, honest. Here you go. Weird and strange medical mysteries. Like stiff person syndrome. I probably shouldn't start with that one right after the last story. SPS is not what you think of. It's a medical condition that can leave a person a prisoner inside their own body.
Yep. I've heard of this.
Yeah. Your muscles involuntarily spasm and rigidity sets in.
Mm-hmm.
So they're cramping up and sniffing on their own, leaving the patient unable to control their own limbs. They can end up completely paralyzed for hours. And oddly enough, these spasms are not little, sissy spasms. They're strong enough at times to actually break bone.
Yep.
Doctors don't have a full understanding of what causes SPS, but they're getting closer, they think. Current guesses suggest it might have something to do with your immune system going into overdrive and starting to attack your brain and spinal cord.
Mm-hmm.
And until they do, though, there's not really much they can do about it. There's Morgellons disease. You know how you have that feeling that there's just something crawling under your skin, you itch, and well,
Not so much.
Combine that feeling with itchy sores, and there you have it. Morgellons disease. Things actually grow out of these sores. Yeah, I know. Right? This would be weird and true. Some doctors believe a certain bacterium called something that I'm not going to pronounce is behind the disease. Others think it doesn't exist, that it's all in their heads, which, of course, is a great idea, except for one tiny thing. How do you explain those skin growths?
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Here's one that would frighten me. Water allergy. 60% of our body is made up of water. And for those with water allergy, that's the only pretty much water they can interact with. They can maybe drink water. End of it. If they are exposed to water, so we're talking rain, showers, swimming, lake, anything, the skin erupts in itchy and sometimes painful blisters. Even sweating can trigger the symptoms in the worst cases. Water allergy is extremely rare, thank heavens. Only a handful of known cases, and doctors still have no agreement on what might be causing it. And my personal favorite, one of the strangest conditions, when people develop foreign accent syndrome.
I've heard of this. I think it's Peppa Pig.
She has foreign accent syndrome?
No, she gives it. She's the carrier. All those little kids coming up with English accents.
So there's Typhoid Mary and foreign accent syndrome Peppa.
Yes.
Works for me. They never start speaking in a weird accent. They suddenly start speaking in a weird accent, even if they've never heard it before. In one case from 1941, a Norwegian woman who'd been injured during an air raid suddenly started speaking with a German accent. 1941. German accent. That probably didn't go well. What causes the disease is a mystery. For the longest time, doctors thought it was a psychological disorder, but now the consensus has been shifted to treating it as a neurological condition. They say it's been triggered by everything from traumatic brain injury and stroke to multiple sclerosis. Wow. And now there are some people in the medical community that think this is true, really can cause it. Why kid you not? In some cases, wow, I don't know what that was.
Nobody knows what that was.
Shut up. In some cases, there's no clear, or as they say in the old country, shut up. Or in German, shutting Sie up bitte. In some cases, there's no clear cause. The patient just suddenly develops an accent for unknown reasons.
Well, just because you said please, I'll do it.
Doctors do, however, have the idea that the sufferers pick up the accent. They're not actually picking up an accent they've never heard.
Yeah.
Something scrambles in their brain and they speak kind of mumbly and the accent comes off as a...
Oh, sure. That makes sense. I could buy that.
No, that's too easy. I myself personally think it's ghosts.
Okay, good.
Yeah, pretty much. What?
So, two stories.
Not I talked to Casper and he doesn't really believe in you either, so I guess you're even.
Yeah, we're off on dumbest criminals. World's dumbest criminals. Two quick stories.
Okay.
Location, Ossining, New York. Scene, Mini Mart. Police were called when residents reported suspicious activity. As the squad pulled up, they noticed 23-year-old Blake Leak trying to break in. The kid runs. The police give chase until both cops get tangled and go down in a heap. Young Leak, knowing an opportunity when he sees one, dashed onto the grounds of a large building, where he was quickly bundled up by a guard. The large building was Sing Sing maximum security prison.
Oh, dude. In real estate, there's an old maxim, which he should have paid attention to.
He should have.
Location, location, location.
I was hoping Ossining wouldn't give it away. So, location, Silver Springs, Florida. Scene, 3 drug thieves thought they'd pulled off the heist of the decade. They gained entry to a house sporting 3 jars of cocaine. They wasted no time in getting it home and snorting the contents. As it was at that time, they discovered those weren't jars.
They were
urns.
Wasn't cocaine either, was it?
They'd been snorting the remains of the victim's husband and 2 dogs.
So,
First guy in was barking and wagging his tail.
I was going to say, what kind of buzz do you get?
Well, you piddle on everything that's standing.
Pardon me, dear. Where's my pipe?
This is true, really news. Send email to TiTR@netradio.network.